Ladies and gentlemen, I now call this meeting to order of the Franklin County Board of County Commissioners. The first item on our agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Shriver, will you lead us in that tonight, please? Sir, I will.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Item number 1 on our agenda is our consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 2, comments from the public. This is a time set aside by the Board of Commissioners to allow individuals 5 minutes to each person to address the board on concerning issues in the county. The total time set aside for public comments is 30 minutes. So when I call your name, please come forward and state your name and address for the clerk, and we'll yield 5 minutes to you. Rosemary Champ.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Rosemary Champion, 116 White Level Road, Lewisburg, North Carolina. There are just 2 things I wanted to mention tonight, and I'll be quick. We talked about a while back Franklin Next, the UDO that was put in place in 2020 is a 5-year plan. So this is the 5th year. And I just wanted to know if at some point we can get a presentation. The UDO stated that it would be revisited all along and looked at with code development and everything. And I haven't ever heard any updates on it. So I was just wondering I think it would be good if the public could get that updated on that. I'm sure a lot of time and money both were spent on it. It's very good UDO. The second thing is you have your annual conference for commissioners coming up. I would like to urge you to do some things while you're there for Franklin County. Number 1, work together with other counties and find out how you can get the Leandro money released to the county. That is millions and millions of dollars for Franklin County alone. And if we could get that, it really would help us as citizens and you as commissioners and also our schools. Second, talk with commissioners and others about that have pools and community centers in their counties. Find out how they've done it. You know, what did they do? Was it a bond? Was it a public-private conversation? Sorry. And talk to them and see what are the pros, what are the cons. Some of us met with Senator Budd's representative the other week when he was in town for the ribbon cutting and talked with him. And that's one of the things he asked. He said, are the county commissioners working with you? We need to get a group and we need to sit down and figure out how to do this. This is too much for one group. We need to get the public involved. If we can get the private involved, that would be great. And then the organization I am with now down home is working on funding and grants to see what we can get for this area. So talk to these other counties and find out, what they're doing. And the other thing, this is the last thing, is at your conference, please talk with other commissioners about getting the General Assembly, instead of telling you how to go back and cut your cost, to stop telling you to cut your cost and start funding things. Every time they cut something back, it falls on the county. And especially with schools, it goes to the school board, but the school board can't fund it. The commissioners have to fund it. So please work with these commissioners, and maybe if you can get together and say, hey, we need to do something, General Assembly. Maybe you need to stop cutting us. And that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person we have that is signed up is Mary Solomon.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I am Mary M. Solomon, and I live at 680 Massenburg Baker Road, Lewisburg, North Carolina, just the third brick house on the right-hand side, just below the pickleball and the tennis court at Owens Park. First, let me say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you this evening. I stand before you not just as a concerned citizen, but as a committed taxpayer who, like many others, take pride in helping maintain the well-being of our county. I'm here to address two simple but important issues. One that affects hundreds, if not thousands, of residents in our county of Franklin every week. That issue is the poor condition of the driveways and the drop-off areas of our convenience centers. It is frustrating and frankly unacceptable that we, as tax-paying citizens of this county, must drive through holes, stand in water, and mud just to dispose of our household waste responsibly. These are not private roads. County maintained facilities funded by our tax dollars, and we should not have to dodge ruts and stand in mud just to throw away our household trash. We're not asking for luxury. We're just simply asking for some gravel, and which is affordable, a practical solution to cover the potholes and the muddy areas. It will improve safety, preserve our vehicles, and help us older residents and encourage more people to use these centers properly rather than dumping waste illegally. We urge you, with all due respect, to allocate resources for some gravel and proper maintenance of these sites. These are county property, and they reflect on the county's leadership. Now, second, I'd like to speak specifically about the condition of Owens Park, specifically the mowing and maintenance of the grass. I want to acknowledge first that some mowing has recently been done, and we're grateful for that. Thank you very much. But for quite a while, the grass and the weeds have been overgrown in many areas, making the park less safe and less inviting for families, for children, and the community as a whole. What makes this even more important is that Owens Park isn't just a park we visit. It surrounds our homes. It's part of our everyday environment. When it's neglected, it affects how our neighborhood looks and feels. And when it's well cared for, it brings pride and peace to those of us who live there. Tall grass isn't just an eyesore. It creates serious safety concerns. It became a hiding place for snakes, ticks, and other pests, and it limits visibility for children playing. It can also give the impression that the park, and by extension, our neighborhood, is being overlooked. Owens Park is a valuable public space, and it deserves consistent care, not just occasional mowing around the peripheral. So tonight, I respectfully ask you, the board, to put a consistent, dependable maintenance schedule in place for Owens Park, which surrounds our homes. When it's cared for, it reflects pride in our community, a place we are proud to live near and proud to pass down to the next generation. We trust that you will hear our concern and take the actions that's needed. Thank each of you so very much for your time and for listening to the voices of the people you serve. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
The next person who has signed up is Dan Tingen.
My name is Dan Tingen. I live at 125 Old Garden Lane, Youngsville, North Carolina. I'm here tonight as the president of the Franklin County Home Builders Association. There's an urgent, soon-to-be dire problem in the Franklin County Inspection Department, and it's an outgrowth of the salary structure that the inspectors have. We lost 3 inspectors last year. There are several more that are suspected to be soon be gone. And the thing that's the most disheartening about this is the inspection department is very much unique in terms of the revenue that runs that department. The general statute requires that money cannot be blended with the general fund. It's to be used for the purposes of maintaining the inspection department and the appropriate scheduling of inspections and personnel and what have you within the department. The inspectors that we lost the 3 last year and soon to be 1, maybe 2 more. The salary difference to the counties that they're going to is ranging between $10,000 and $18,000 a year. That kind of tells you there's a problem, but the reason it's so dire is that we've got the money. If you guys would go back and look at your budget, that inspection department is carrying a surplus. I know there's plans for some of that money and a facility to be built in the coming years. You're going to provide a new facility that will surely be needed as Franklin County continues to grow, but it'll be housed with a lot of green inspectors. And it's really, really hard for that department. They've got a first-class operation. The inspection schedule is phenomenally well maintained, 1-2 days at the most. And what's going to soon happen as we begin to lose more inspectors is going to go from 1 or 2 days to 3 or 4 days to 5 or 6 days to 7 or 8 days. I've seen it in other counties. I've been building for 45 years, not always in Franklin County, and it is a dire problem. It's in the making right this minute, and it's coming. Franklin County, the inspection department, has worked really, really hard to build the quality of the inspectors that you all have. They're good, well-trained, competent inspectors. They have the right credentials to do the inspections required by the general statutes of North Carolina for Franklin County. And to continue to lose these people and go through the struggle, imagine now you're losing inspectors from Franklin County to adjoining counties because of the salaries. So when Franklin County goes to get another inspector, where is he going to find one? Really, the only choice is because this is at the bottom of the heap when it comes to adjacent counties. I know you all did a salary study a few years ago, but what I'm telling you is true. These boys will drive a few miles to get $18,000 or $20,000 a year more money. But they're working really, really hard to get good inspectors. But the morale in that department is abysmal, and it's going to soon start affecting the way they perform in the field. And they sense it when one of their co-workers leaves here and goes to Wilson and gets a $12,000 or $15,000 a year raise. What do you think he thinks? Am I stupid for staying here? That's the mentality. That's the thought process that's going on over there right this minute. So I beg you all, please, this is an urgent problem, soon to be a dire problem. It's going to be compounded with the growth. You all can see it, and we can see it on the industry side. What's coming to Franklin County? We cannot afford to go into that growth period that we're fixing to encounter head on with a marginal inspection department. It'll create a disaster for North Carolina. So please ask your county manager, if you don't already know, what the statute designations are for these fees. They cannot be used in the general fund. They are dedicated by law to go to the support of the inspection department. We would ask you all to study that. It's absolutely imperative for our industry to be able to grow and thrive the way it needs to, and for Franklin County to grow and thrive the way it needs to. So we appreciate your time taken to listen to me tonight and any consideration you would give to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next person or people who have signed up is Doug and Miss Perry. But y'all are here for the rezoning. And that'll be the next topic coming up is the rezoning request I think y'all are referring to. So hopefully we can get y'all's questions answered then. And Tony Caputo. Yes, ma'am.
Welcome.
So, thank you for listening. I didn't have a question. I was just gonna listen. I thought that was a sign-in sheet. Let's just be honest. But I do have a question. I live on Pilot Bypass Road. So we're in the Pilot area, and the bypass is not that long. And there is a park, Lions Club Park, on that bypass road. On, 39 highway coming in toward the Pilot area, you have to slow your speed down from 55 to 45 in that area because there's the intersection. I don't know if you guys can help me, but people take Shepherd School Road and they are flying down Pilot Bypass Road, and there are children who live on that road. And I would just like, I know by general statutes of North Carolina, you have to be 35 if it's not posted, speed limit sign. But can we just get a speed limit sign on that road to, maybe people just don't realize that they need to slow down in that area because it's still partly residential. That's all I ask, is that you guys could consider just putting a sign out there because the park doesn't have a sign on its side either. And there are children playing all kinds of school activities, and us old folks trying to stay a little bit healthy. We just appreciate a little bit of people slowing down for us. So
Yes,
you guys
ma'am.
have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the last person who has signed up is Scott Stricker.
Scott Strickland, 8439, Highway 56, Lewisburg. Tonight, I just wanted to come and tell you appreciate all the good work y'all are doing. We're still training, and we finally got a call out, and we had a great success on finding the young lady that was missing. My group was worked well along with Youngsville, and we're still training. We got some more training. We got some search and rescue classes coming up to work with the boat that we have now on hand, and we're almost working together. The lake put on the traffic class on traffic safety. We have to get out, stop traffic, and all that, and which most all mine have already had the TIMS, which is a training that the state puts out. If you get any certification, you got to have all already. And so most of my guys already got all that. So we didn't participate in that with them, but we're really proud of our group. We want you to come out and do my birthday party tomorrow night out at the National Night Out at the Jonah Park. Bunsert will be doing the hot dogs and hamburgers out there for the Lewisburg Police Department. And we invite y'all to come out, as well as our County Commissioner DJ. So we've been busy, and we just want y'all to know that we're still moving strong, and any surplus equipment that we can get our way would be greatly appreciated, because I got to have something to pull this boat with now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That concludes public comments for tonight. Brings us to item number 3, public hearing, a rezoning request. I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Jason Rogers. He's gonna go through it, then we'll conduct a public hearing.
All right, thank you, Chairman Bunn and Board of Commissioners, for allowing me to speak to you this evening. As Chairman Bunn stated, we have a rezoning request before you this evening. It is rezoning case number 25 REZ 01. The rezoning request was submitted by Mr. William Lewis. The proposal is to rezone approximately 3.25 acres at 810 Clyde Pierce Road in Zebulon, North Carolina, parcel ID 002101, in the Dunn Township, from residential 30 to neighborhood business. As you can see on the map, the subject parcel is outlined in pink. The aerial photography up above depicts a residential structure on the property. The applicant has stated that should this rezoning pass, they may be looking to relocate that residential structure. So from our previous rezoning that took place in 2020, when we did the countywide rezoning, Staff felt that because there was a residential structure on this property at that time, to avoid creating a nonconformity and limit that individual's ability to expand that property, we left that zone, that property zone residential 30. But tonight, the applicant is requesting it to be rezoned to neighborhood business, and obviously due to the value of the corner of that property, relocating that structure at a later date, once they develop this parcel, would be more advantageous than keeping the residential structure there. Again, in addition, the applicant does own the parcel directly to the south. It's approximately 12 acres. This is owned neighborhood business as well. So the applicant wishes to have both properties zoned consistently the same neighborhood business. So again, just expanding that existing neighborhood business onto this property so that he has contiguous tracts, his own neighborhood business. At this time, I want to touch on the adjacent land uses that are nearby this property. To the north, we have a used car sales lot, a contractor office, and Pilot Volunteer Fire Department. It's hard to see in this image that zoomed in a little bit too much to grab those uses. To the immediate east, we have Pilot Baptist Church and daycare facility, and then a self-storage facility. To the south, obviously, is the vacant tract owned by the applicant. A little further south, we'll have Privet's Grocery and Convenience Store, as well as Family Dollar. These uses are typical at an intersection, such as the intersection here in Pilot at NC 39 and Old US 64. In our land use plan that was recently adopted as well, identifies this area for rural mixed uses. So this request does align with our comprehensive land use plan. In addition, as you can see on the map, it's approximately 500 feet from the intersection of Old US 64 Highway and NC 39 Highway. So that's also identified in our comprehensive land use plan as a rural mixed use center. So as you can see, that the existing development patterns that are out there do align with what our comprehensive land use plan does call for this area. Uses such as service, retail, to provide much needed needs for the adjacent residential community. Low impact commercial uses for the adjacent residential community. I want to move along. The planning board did recommend approval by unanimous vote to approve the rezoning request that's before you this evening, and the zoning consistency statement that I will go over in a moment. North Carolina General Statute 160D, this is just a reminder to the board that prior to adopting or rejecting a zoning map amendment, the governing board shall adopt a statement describing whether its action is consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan and explain why the board considers the action will be reasonable and in the public interest. I'd like to read into the record, this planning staff has prepared a zoning consistency statement. The board may choose to adopt this zoning consistency statement if it does indeed choose to approve the rezoning request that's before you this evening, or it can choose to not accept or basically say that it is not reasonable with the existing land uses and is not in the public interest should it decide to reject the rezoning request before you. The comprehensive land use plan indicates that the property is intended for a neighborhood or rural center. The property is also located within 500 feet of an identified rural mixed-use center. Commercial centers range from rural crossroads to region-serving commercial destinations. These centers are intended to meet the needs of the community with a combination of retail and service uses appropriately scaled for the service area in which they are located. Residential uses may be a part and/or immediately adjacent to such centers. The property is located along a major thoroughfare adjacent to existing neighborhood business zone parcels. Public water and sewer are not available to the site. The rural mixed-use center district is intended to contain a range of small-scale shops, restaurants, local serving businesses, agriculture support business, and public safety. The development characteristics include residential density of up to 1 acre, 1 unit per acre, and 1-story structures. The transportation network includes auto-dependent streets, arterial and rural roads, primary farm to market, 2-lane roads, ditch section, no curb, and low connectivity. The open space includes small informal greens, small parks, grounds of civic buildings, and rural greenways. Again, and the request is or is not reasonable with existing land uses and is not in the public interest. So the board will need to determine its reasonableness and if it's in the public interest. Lastly, the recommended action tonight is to consider adoption of the zoning consistency statement and 25 REZ01 rezoning request for 810 Clyde Pierce Road, parcel ID 002101. Happy to answer any questions the board may have at this time.
Does the board have any questions at this time? All right. Hearing none.
Open the public hearing.
All right, we got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. We're now in a public hearing for this rezoning request. So anyone who is in favor, for, or against this rezoning, come forward now and we will try our best to answer your question.
Will that property, if it's rezoned, will there be an entrance or an exit off of Pilot Bypass Road? Say that again, I'm deaf.
Your name and address.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm the Italian again, 206 Pilot Bypass Road in Zebulon, North Carolina.
And
We
what's your,
fa-
what's
we-
your name? What's your
Tony
name?
Caputo,
Okay, because they need to have that on record.
nice Italian man's name. We just faced that property. I'm just out of pure curiosity. Will there be a entrance or exit facing our properties?
Jason.
At this time, we don't know. Certainly, the applicant, should they decide to develop this property, will have to work with NCDOT to establish a driveway permit, and that location would be determined at that point. My assumption would be, they will ultimately have frontage on Pilot Bypass, as well as Clyde Pierce Road and NC 39 Highway. I think they've got a number of options before them, but it will ultimately be a discussion they will have to have with NCDOT, and they will determine where the safest location is for driveway access.
Are you the applicant?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions, comments, or concerns for or against this? Okay,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
all right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, what's the pleasure of the
I'd
board?
like to make a motion, we approve this rezoning request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, and that includes that consistency statement, Mr. Foy, in your motion?
Yes, sir.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. We are now to item number 4, our action items. Car Area Transportation Authority Memorandum of Understanding. CART's Executive Director, Randy Cantor, is going to give us a presentation.
Maybe. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Since you've already announced me, you know I'm Randy Cantor, and I'm the Director of CARTS. I'm here tonight on behalf of CARTS to speak to you about the ROPE funds that we get as an organization that helps your community have public transportation. So I wanted to start off with ROPE. What is ROPE? ROPE stands for Rural Operating Assistance Program. There are 3 sections of ROPE for 3 specific forms of funding that assist your citizens. When I say assist, you know as well as I do, if you've ever ridden carts or if you have any experience with it, the $4 or $5 or $6 they pay as a fare when they get on is unrealistic in paying for the trip that they're getting. These funds pay for the rest of that trip. Okay? So there's 3 different segments. There's RGP, which is rural general public. That's anyone who lives in a rural area for any reason. EMPL is employment. That's anyone going to or from a job, or if they're going to job training, vocational training. Like if you were going to a VOTEC to weld, things like that. It's not for college. The last is EdTap, is Elderly Disabled Transportation Assistance Program. That's anyone 60 years of age or older, or anyone with a verifiable disability, and that's irregardless of age. If you have a disability, you can utilize these funds to help support or pay for your transportation. All right, so with most grants, the way that we receive the funds is once we've provided the service, we bill the grant and we are reimbursed for those services. ROPE is untraditional in that way. So at times, usually around September, we put in an application for each one of the 4 counties. A designated amount of money is appropriated. Those funds are sent to the counties instead of CARTS. The difference being is now that you have those funds, really the only thing you have to do at that point is show their usage, report their usage to the state and draw the funds down. Currently any funds that aren't spent are deducted from the next year's proportion, and those funds are rolled over into it. So you just basically lost those funds. Okay. Beginning this year, the state's not going to do that anymore. So if you don't spend the funds or show usage for the funds, those funds, when they will not be deducted. They just won't be giving to you. They're going to go into a separate fund. And around January, the systems that have utilized all their funds, they'll get a second apportionment in January. That's what I'm aiming to do for all 4 counties. I want that second apportionment. All right. I'll try to make this as painless as possible. So currently, CARTS, we do the application process. We submit it. The state says, these are the funds, you sign for them. I personally have to sign for these funds for all 4 counties. But who gets the funds? You get them. Now, normally with the RGP and the EMPL, we invoice you, we get the funds right up front. EdTap usually is split between seniors, DSS, whatever the county decides it needs to use those funds for. Therein lies the problem, is not getting that reporting back to us in time. We have until the end of the next month to report these numbers. If we don't, a lot of times we can't go back and say, oh, we forgot, we didn't do this, we need to do. No, state does not play that game. If we find there's an error, we have one chance to fix that error in the reporting. After that, it's a done deal. To simplify the process, what I'm asking for, and I've asked all 4 counties, and I can let you know that Vance and Warren, the documentation has already been to the state and approved. We want to become the recipients of these funds. We want to do the reporting. We're applying for them, we're signing for them. If we have them, we know what they were used for, and we can report accurately and on time every month. With our new scheduling software, we can track each and every county, each and every type, each and every dollar that we get and explain to the state and to yourselves exactly how the funds were used and in what areas they were used in. A copy of the monthly report, which I understand somebody did a good job on the MOU that we sent out, and it's been reworded, and I've agreed to it. We will send that same report to whomever you want in the county manager, obviously, or your finance person, every month. Whatever we send to the state, we'll send to you and say, this is how it was used. Okay? And these funds have to be used in the county that they're apportioned to. We're not putting this in one big bucket and spinning it out and saying whoever gets what. That's not how this works. Okay? So it's on us, basically, the responsibility to make sure that the funds are used and they're used correctly. Now, I'm going to give you an example. If you all can see that, this is what your FY25 wrap-up looks like. So if you'll notice in the top line, you have RGP, Rural General Public. If you can see it, you're a negative $40,000. That money came directly from the CARTS coffers. Money that we make offering other services, contracted services, things of that nature. Money that could be spent, salaries, more equipment, better equipment, different things that we could spend those funds on. Those funds were spent to help the people in your county with transportation. If you look at EMPL, the second one down, that's $91,000 that came from the CARTS coffers. We're not going to refuse anybody transportation, but we're doing it. It's not benefiting us and our people, okay? And now the last one is the most important one, is EdTap. If you notice, that's not a negative. That's $13,883 that y'all just gave back to the state. Thanks. Couldn't use it. By the looks of it, yeah, we could have used it. And there's ways that we can manipulate the reporting. If somebody says, oh, I just need a ride. Okay, well, you're RGP. Oh, wait a second. How old are you? I'm 65. Oh, nope, you're EdTap. So we can move the passengers, the clients, your citizens, to the funding source that where they best fit the need and use these funds. I'm doing this because CARTS needs these funds. We don't need to be giving anything back to the state. Okay? Any questions?
So the state allows the funds to come directly to you and not be coming through us?
Yes, ma'am.
Have they always done that? Or
No, ma'am. That's why I'm here tonight.
They've just started doing that?
Well, they have. It's actually been going on a couple of years, and I can show you, there was actually, I don't sound like a court. There's the General Assembly. That's the official document from them. Stating that this can take place.
Great. And how long have you had this new software?
We started in May. It's been a tremendous upgrade compared to what we had before. We have just about eliminated all paperwork. Everything is electronic. We now offer folks that you can have a pass, and what's called an Easy Pass. It's electronic. We now take credit cards because of this software. So people, and I looked at it today, and we had 2-3 pages in 3 days of people putting money into the system off their credit cards. They just never had that option before. So they get on the bus, the driver recognizes them or acknowledges them, hits a button on his tablet, boom, trip's paid for, move on, next. So we can really narrow down with the very simplistic. This is how I explained it to my folks when I first started talking about I wanted this software, because I've had this software at 2 other systems that I've ran in the state. I said, if you needed a PhD to run our old software, you need a box of Crayolas to run the new one.
Good.
It is that simplistic.
So let me ask a question. Back to your previous slide and the negative numbers there. Is that, by moving this more into your hands with this reporting, are those are those losses there strictly because of the county's time reporting, misreports? Like, what is the difference that's going to make up that difference that you guys are doing?
When
Is
comes
it
to-
just timing more than anything with some of this?
It is timing, some of it, but more than anything, the negatives I can't do anything about.
Right.
Okay, we had more requests than what we had money
Right.
for. Got to do it.
Yep.
I mean, we're not going to deny anybody a trip. The positives are the ones that's the bad thing, giving those funds back. I don't want to give any money back.
Sure.
So, the other two counties, Vance and Warren, that have already gone through this, they had negatives in all the areas. And they were like, here, you need to control this better and let us know better how these funds are being spent. We're not doing this right. Something's wrong. So that was their thought process along also.
And it is important that they put each, because they deal with so many different population age groups and people, that they put them in the correct category for the funding. That's real important with state, 'cause this is old funding. And it's been around a long time. It's just that I understand.
Nobody's really been keeping track of it.
Yeah, keeping track of it and being able to put it in the appropriate category so that you can spend the funds.
And I'm joined tonight by my finance manager, Tanya Moore. And I have heard Tanya on the phone plead with counties and plead through emails, please give me these numbers. I got to have these numbers. And I keep getting email requests from DOT. Why don't we have this report? Why don't we have this report? And I go to Tanya. Tanya's like, all I can do is ask.
Now, who are you pleading with at the county?
Actually, I'm not sure Franklin was that big a deal. Who do you speak with the different counties? Are you looking at DSS, social services? Senior centers? Yeah.
So you're dealing with, yeah. And so instead of having the tickets at the senior center, what would they do? How does it work?
No, go ahead. I'm about to run out of spit.
Okay. So it'll be the same system locally, y'all's system will change. That's perfect. Because they don't like change.
No, and honestly, she did
yeah.
bring up a good
Hey,
point.
Tanya, by the way.
We get audited every 3 years. We just went through one with the state.
Right.
And they'll come in and they'll say, you had 10 people in EdTap. EdTap, you have to be 65 or older. Well, how
Right.
do you know they're 65 or older?
Right.
That's the senior centers in each county.
That's right.
their vetting process. So we
Right.
can just call them up and say, hey, send me over Miss Betty Smith's paperwork. Boom, done, satisfied. So it's very helpful.
Sounds very practical. I'd like to make a motion, we approve the action request.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I have, so the MOU is one step. The MOU is between the county and CARTS. This is a resolution. This is between the county and the state. So it's simple. I'll let you see the very top sentence of the state. Basically, what the resolution that you pass, you all can sign off on it.
How soon is this needed to be done?
Well, the resolution has to be approved by your board because there's a
I understand
motion
that
and-
part, but being that this is new and fresh to us, I'm very hesitant to just go in, and now that I don't trust you because I've served on your board for a little while, so, but we probably need to vet this internally and bring it back to the next meeting for approval, would be my opinion.
That would be like right at the end of getting it done.
Well, then next time we know we need to bring all things forward if we need action on the board, because that would be my position on this, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
If you're good with the MOU, that's fine. If you want to send the resolution to your attorney, that's fine too.
All right. I think it'd be wise to, employ the attorney on that one. Also,
Okay?
thank you, sir.
No, thank you. I appreciate your time. And I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you giving me
And-
this opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll just say, having worked in the county, CARTS was started in the 80s, I believe. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure. And it's been a wonderful service in all the counties, but in Franklin County as far as being able to get people where they needed to go. Because when they were started at the senior center, we only had one van. And we were trying to, with one van, do some of what we could do. And when CARTS was started, I mean, they just had several vans when they started, and they could take so many more people to doctor's appointments, to the grocery store, of all ages and stuff. And now, I mean, you see CARTS vans everywhere.
Yes.
You know, when you drive around the county, you see them, and they are taking people to the doctor and to needed places, and that's been such a great service.
I'd like to expand on it, but it's money, you know, how everything is.
Yes, yes.
So,
So thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, I have a thought. Would it be reasonable to entertain a motion that this resolution, based on review by staff and the county attorney, that we authorize the manager to sign it if those parties agree with? That way they can administratively move this forward in the next few days or week and not wait a whole month, but it gives us the ability to get that check and balance we're looking for.
Yeah, I'm great with that.
You make that in form of a motion?
I did, yes, ma'am.
Second?
All right, we have a motion
Thank
on
you.
the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
excellent. Thank you all. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Randy.
Mr.
Good seeing
Floyd,
you.
next Tuesday.
Yep, good seeing you too, Randy.
Okay, that brings us to item number 5, appointments. Tourism Development Authority Chairperson Designation. The board is asked to consider approval for the recommendation of Ginger Pugh for TDA Chairperson.
And I'll make a motion that we appoint Gina Pugh for the CDA chairperson.
Okay, have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. NCACC Voting Delegate, the 118th Annual Conference. The board is asked to designate a county voting delegate for the NCACC's 118th Annual Conference scheduled for August the 21st through the 23rd at Greenville Convention Center in Pitt County. The business session is scheduled for August the 23rd at 2 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Bragg for this appointment.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. It brings us to item number 6, board manager and clerk's comments. Madam Attorney, do you have anything? Madam Clerk? All right, Mr. Ford.
Yes, I had the honor and the privilege of attending a Veterans Administration meeting here in this room last week, put on by Miss Brenda Wilkins. Was real informative. The Veterans Administration, I being a veteran, is kind of interested. They offer a lot of services to the veterans, a whole lot more than what I ever dreamed existed. And I can tell you that, to their spouses, to their children, for years and years, even after they're out of the military. Real impressive, informative meeting. Anybody you know of that's a veteran would be well to check it out and see what you're missing, because there's a lot to that benefit program they put on. Had the privilege of attending the 29th Annual Horse Farm Tour in this room here a couple days ago. It was Friday. Everything went real well, well attended. A lot of information on that. Hands up, really applaud the Extension Agency for what they do over there, reaching out, educating people in all kinds of ways. And last but not least, I toured the senior center, talking with, and plus I'm on the senior advisory board. They are in the process now doing bus trips They got a bus trip going to Savannah. I think it was 48 of them going there soon, next couple of weeks. And depending on how that one goes, they're going to maybe plan the next trip to the Amish country in Pennsylvania. And all of this is done by bus. No flying, none of that. The old fashioned way.
I'm a
And,
senior. I could go on some of those now.
No, I thought about it, but I better not go on. I'll drive myself up there or something, but anyway. My last thing, I did go through the pool room, and everything is going all right with an extra pool table in there, and they got carpet on the floor. And they all seem like very happy bunch of people in their place, so proud to report that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Mr. Davis.
Yeah, I don't have a lot. Busy last 4 weeks. I wasn't going to say anything until Ms. Solomon got up and shared what you shared. And as a longtime visitor of the Youngsville Convenience Site on 1A, and now that we have a new one, I'm very thankful for that. But I agree. So I'm one of 7. I don't have a whole lot of wielding power up here by myself, but we're going to have a discussion about some gravel because I know how you feel. So other than that, that's all I got.
Very good. Mr. Schreiber.
Since Commissioner Davis brought it up, since my beginning on this board 8-9 years ago now, that was one of my concerns, was our trash site down in Youngsville. It was in the bottom, in a hole, nose direct sun. And I'd have to, when I finally got on the board, I'd have to call and make a few phone calls about getting some gravel out in that pothole at the front. So I assure you, I get it as well. And I think it is time for a discussion and maybe some real traction on a very simple maintenance plan that would be effective and cost effective to the county as well. So you just need to be willing to take a little bit more initiative. So, but it's still good to be here in Franklin County. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Mr. Schreiber. Commissioner May.
Yes, sir. I attended the ribbon cutting of the new Phase 2 road at the Triangle Airport. And hopefully this will help Franklin County move forward and bring new businesses and more jobs to our Franklin County citizens. And I agree with everybody that got it said something tonight. I think we go to the same dumps, if I'm not mistaken. It's always the best at the end.
That it?
Is it?
All right, Commissioner Speed.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out, congratulations to Franklinton Fire Department, for the city of Franklinton and the Northwest Franklin Fire Districts improving from ISO rating of 4 to a 2. And in the rural area, it remains at a 9E, and that's due to structures being more than 6 miles from a fire department. But I understand that y'all have plans for a satellite station out there, so we should be seeing those improve too. I'd also like to elaborate on the convenient centers. I had spoken to Ms. Solomon last week, and I relayed those concerns to our county manager, and he's well aware of it, and I'm sure is taking steps to make those improvements. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Bragg.
And at the hospital board this past month, business as usual. But one thing is, if y'all haven't been to the Lewisburg Hospital, they're remodeling the entrance where you walk in the door at, and it's looking really good. It's going to be very nice, that entrance there. And you know, they built onto that hospital too, a large wing to it and all. So things are going, we're busy at this hospital in Lewisburg. And I keep asking questions and listening and looking at what they're doing there. And I'm real pleased with our little hospital here right now. Seeing a lot of patients there. I did attend the town board meeting in Franklinton, the last town board meeting, in which they did talk about annexing the park, because we approved for them to be able to annex the park, and they were all real thrilled with that. And I do know that they've already been out there and started doing some monitoring. They've had some police calls that they've had to go out there for already. So the policemen are going out there a lot and monitoring, and good things are happening at that park. That park is so busy. It's just very busy. And now with the police presence and the town presence out there, it's going to be even better than it was. I did attend the ribbon cutting at the airport park. And the thing, and I won't say any more about it, other than there are 7 sites off of that road, that new road, to be able to put commercial or industrial or whatever sites on that road. So 7 parcels, I guess, is what you call them. Is that right, Ryan? Okay, that's what that is. I did want to address Ms. Champion about the Leonardo funding. You're still here. Good. I've been to the past 2 conferences, and we have talked about that extensively at both conferences. And I believe that they were, if I remember right, they were earmarked as issues to be taken to the state at both conferences. So it is something that's very highly talked about there. It has been. I learned a lot at those conferences about what it is and how it operates and all that stuff. So believe me, it's there. So we are talking about that, and I'm glad you're here so we could do that. And also about the signs being put on the Pilot Parkway. I think she's gone, or maybe she's not. No, I don't see her. Anyway, I believe that's a state issue, isn't it? That's not something we do anything about with the road signs and all. I believe that's a state issue. So that's not something we would address. And that's all I got.
Okay. I too would like to congratulate the Franklinton Fire Department for getting their fire rating in a better spot. I think y'all did an excellent job doing that. I have and always have advocated for pay of our employees in this county, and I have expressed concerns to the county manager over the past several months about getting this pay study correct. That includes the planning department as well as other departments in this county. So that work is ongoing and in progress, I assure you. I have one announcement to make. Next month, our meeting, because of the Labor Day holiday, will be September the 8th at 6 p.m. That's all for my comments. County Manager, you have anything to say?
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, that brings us to item number 7, closed session. The board is asked to enter into closed session pursuant to the following North Carolina general statutes. NCGS 143-318.11A3, A4, A5, and A6. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to go into closed session.
Have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Being there in a minute.
Right, real quick.